Hi, my name is Tiffany. I'm a marine conservation specialist based in the United Arab Emirates. So I've been engaged in the marine industry as a PhD student, academic researcher, and environmental consultant for over 10 years. Most recently, I've onboarded with Envirotech Education to support in the export of their marine habitat conservation and restoration VET accreditations to the GCC. There are a number of different verticals for traineeship and employment within the marine industry, and one of the most important is within marine conservation. So conservation describes the protection and restoration of our fragile marine ecosystems. The easiest way to describe some of the skills that are required for both traineeship and placement on coral restoration projects is through an example. So over the last year, I have been engaged in directing a large-scale coral conservation project in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. The objective of this project is the establishment of a large-scale coral nursery. In order to achieve project outcomes, a number of different activities are performed. There are a number of different team members involved in coral conservation projects. Those can include academic specialists, project management, but most importantly is the workforce. Now, this workforce may be comprised of individuals who've been working in the industry for a number of years, but it also contains a segment of trainees. Our trainees are primarily responsible for a lot of the field work that occurs. So it's really important that these individuals are trained in different practical skills and techniques. Some of these skills include the use of quadrats underwater to assess coral coverage. Another important skill set is to be able to use tools underwater for the establishment of a coral nursery. When we have a look at the area around the coral nursery itself, it's important that trainees on our projects are able to use line transects to be able to assess the generalized ecosystem health, fish surveys, and assessment of benthic substrate. A lot of interns on our projects are responsible for photography and videography associated with the project, for capturing information underwater relating to the project itself. Aside from the practical skills, there are a number of soft skills that are also important. Within regions like the United Arab Emirates, you have a number of different individuals collaborating on projects from different nations, different ethnicities, different backgrounds. So it's really important that interns are able to communicate with different members of project faculty. Communicating project outcomes to team members as well as key stakeholders and clients for showcasing the progression of the project itself. So the conservation sector within the United Arab Emirates currently focuses all of its efforts on an expatriate workforce. So what we're having a look at, or what we're seeing, is a highly skilled workforce of professors, academics, and PhDs performing basic marine fieldwork activities. It's really important that we try and bridge this gap with work placement opportunities, so that way we can empower VET graduates to get meaningful work placement opportunities. So this is a gap that currently exists on marine conservation projects, one that we're trying to bridge. Marine habitat conservation and restoration VET accreditations provide an opportunity for students to engage within the marine industry really quickly. With successful work placement, these students can then gain the relevant skills that they need to participate in marine conservation projects. It's also extremely beneficial for employers and operators of the various conservation projects in that they have access to a larger pool of individuals to form their workforce, ultimately reducing operational costs and improving the speed at which conservation projects can be completed. By empowering students through VET education, we can actually facilitate this, so we can have a larger workforce that are able to participate on these projects. Having worked on a number of different conservation projects in the region, it can be quite difficult to attract the right talent as well as a skilled workforce that's readily available to engage in our conservation projects. VET education in marine conservation bridges this gap. At this point in time, there is limited opportunity for traineeship or integration into conservation projects. But if students were to come to our projects with the right skill sets already developed, this would make it much, much easier to integrate them.